Hey everyone, Eggman here with another video, and Paramount War is out here in North America. I've made some videos going over some of the new leaders, and now I kind of want to go back through some of the older ones as well. So today we're going to talk about Star Deck Luffy, one of my favorite leaders in this just card game in general. If you guys want me to go over any other older leaders, just let me know which ones you guys want me to do in the comments below. We're going to go over Luffy, and I think he's like a little bit overshadowed with how much people are enjoying Zoro in this set, and I'm not going to deny it as much as I did last set. Zoro, I think, is by and large the better leader compared to Luffy, but I do think the playstyle that Luffy has and what he does have some benefits, and I think in general, I think he has like a better matchup against Whitebeard, which could be like Edward Newgate. So if you don't like that matchup as Zoro, if you have a hard time getting around it, this could be a leader for you to switch to and maybe play some more and do some investigations for. So if you guys don't know what this does, just once per turn you get to put a Dawn from that's rested underneath it or underneath one of your other characters. So pretty standard for what it is, but I do like the idea of it. And again, like against something like Newgate, if you guys are not liking that matchup, he's always a 6k if you want to always put the Dawn underneath him, so you don't have to like invest any extra energy or just Dawn or anything for him. So that's kind of nice. Anyways, going through the cards, one drop should be pretty standard. We do have the 4 Namis, 4 Otamas, and 4 of the Tony Choppers. Those should be pretty standard for most people playing red. If you're playing, unless you're playing obviously the Zoro 1-drop army, then you add more of it. But I think these are just like generically good red staples for the game right now. All of these cards are pretty good for what they are, and they just help out the deck. So I don't think that's too crazy there. So that's what we added there. So those are those. And then also for 2 drops, we do have 2 of the Curly Dedans. I might add more of them, but just the fact like we normally want to go first with this deck, and we'll kind of go over the turn orders and what we kind of want to do as we see the cards. But if you go second, this is like the best card to do. You play it on turn 2. You hope you find one of these 1-drops we just talked about and then add it to your hand. So I think that's fine for what it is. And then also we do have Sanji's, which I think is the best 2k, or sorry, at least 2k 2-drop Straw Hat that we have in the game right now. So we're just maxing that out at 4, and that we have. So I actually think I'm going to add Curly Dedan a little bit after. So we'll talk about cards where might take out for it, but I think it's still it's a very good card for what it is. Next for our 3 drops, we do have the new Vista as well. So just on play KO up to one of your opponent's characters, the cost of 3k power or less. So very, very great, especially on curve. Most things will be 3k power or less. So you just play it, you pop a little blocker, and then you can still use effect to put something underneath your leader. 6k swing, very good here. And we still have fan favorite, at least my favorite. We do have the Nico Robin 2. Same effect, you just when attacking, and it's a 4k. It's also a Straw Hat, and it does have the 1k counter just like the Vista does, but obviously this can gain more value throughout the game, and if you play this on turn 2, your opponent's kind of in a rough spot as well. So like the Nico Robin, I think it helps out the deck as well, and it's definitely the card you want to play around. Like turn 3 Dawn with Nico Robin, I think is the best play in the deck still. It's what you really want to revolve around, and that's why you kind of want to go first in this deck. This deck generically does want to go first. Like it's strictly better going first compared to I think a lot of other decks that can be a little bit more willy-nilly. And then 3 Zoros, honestly, these are just like not as good as they used to be in my opinion, at least if you're trying to play more of a mid-range control deck. The fact that this is like good for at least getting a swing in immediately is quite nice, but other than that, it's just okay for what it is. Sometimes I like gets a lot of these stuck in my hand at the end of the game, so this might go down to like 3 copies. Maybe I'll put like another Curly Dedan for it. It just feels wrong not running 4 of these, but at the same time, I don't think they're as neat as they used to be. So you just have them at, especially like since Vista can kind of do the same thing with it, at least like early turns. Like this is just like maybe a good like 2 of or 3 of maybe. I'll do some more experimentations, but do not feel bad if you take Zoro out. I don't think it's as needed as it used to be. Going into our 4 drops, our only one, but it's a good one, is Trafalgar Law. And the reason we're adding 4 of these is because we really want to get a lot of value off of both our Nico Robins and our Vistas as well. And because of that too, it's just really, really strong being able to pop a 5k or less. And kind of how like these games work, like 3k used to be very, very good at hitting things, but 2k bonus here with the Trafalgar Law means there's a lot more that you can hit with it too. And spoilers, we are playing the Jet Pistol, which we'll talk about. So there's more things we want to hit from that as well. So by and large, this is just a good body that you can use. So for example, turn 3 Dawn, you had this out, played it, and then you can just, you know, put 2 Dawn underneath it, Trafalgar Law, swing with it, pop something 5k or less, which is pretty much anything our opponents can play on turn 4, and then just kind of get the advantage there. So that's just the idea with it, and that's kind of why we're still playing it. Usually I kind of went down to 2 because not as many things needed to get the minus to get in range, but we kind of need it now, so we have it there. So there we go. We also do have the King Do. We do have 4 of these, so this is actually really strong for what we're doing. Red didn't have a 5-drop 7k vanilla before this, which is kind of silly because like most other colors did, but obviously best curve is to go into Nico Robin again, so you can see how much like we revolve around that play. And something that Zoro can't do either is that you can go Nico Robin, play the King Do, have this on board, use leader ability to tuck one under Nico Robin to get the effect, and you still establish the 7k. That's going to be very hard for your opponent to get around. So this is obviously what we really want to do most of the time, and if you get it off, it feels very, very strong for what it is. So highly recommend that gameplay, and if worst case not, we can also play the 5-drop Luffy. Same kind of thing, 5, 6, so 1k less, but you do get the rush for free for doing that, and I think that in general, Rush Luffy is a very strong card in this deck. So I think that's very strong for what it is too. Obviously, I think this one you're like okay with running 4 of compared to maybe like Zoro because it does have the when attacking effect. Blockers aren't as impactful as they used to be, at least from early testing from set 2. Don't make fun of me if that's wrong, but that's just with my own testing, that the effect is still good, but like not as much like straight blocking is happening as we used to. So, and then lastly, our last battle card, or sorry, our character card is the 9-drop Edward Newgate. And I will say, by and large, like this is the best leader to take advantage of this card. Like this leader is really good with Newgate. I think it's better than the original leader, like the actual leader in itself, just because of the Luffy effect. So what you're able to do with it is that on play, this gets plus 2k, which is quite nice, and then you can make it an 8k by using the leader effect until the end of your opponent's turn. So like when we had Shanks was good for like applying pressure, but like sometimes you play Shanks and you just die on the next turn. Being able to get like the 2k boost to help you out there is really nice. And also has when attacking once per turn, or just Dawn times 2, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 3k power or less. So that's a really great effect as well, and something else that we'd really want to like use our Trafalgar Laws to help get more things into that range, which is quite nice. And I will also say like it's just like great for that way, and it's just a good card for pairing up with that. But the reason I think that it's strictly good in Luffy 2 is because let's say you go first, you have 9 Dawn, you play this, right? Next turn you'll have 10 Dawn. You can play another one. You'll have 1 Dawn open, and then you use that 1 Dawn and the leader effect to put 2 underneath your Newgate, and then a Newgate can pop like a 3k or less, and then you can still establish the next one. I think that's really strong. I think being able to chain your Newgates is a really good thing for this deck, and I think Luffy can take advantage of it more than any other leader. So that's part of the reason I'm still believing in Luffy, because I think it can take advantage of Newgate. And lastly, for Gum Gum Jet Pistols, this card is still really good, and the only other thing is that I'm really starting to consider Roundtable again as an event card, just because like you can use Roundtable and then go into Vista and kill anything in the game, right? Like more or less, like Vista Roundtable is really great, and Nico Robin the same way. So like since we have like this Vista that can get the immediate pop of something off Roundtable compared to having the setup needed for Nico Robin, I think Roundtable might be something that I'm going to look into more, and it's just like a better removal target most of the time, and it gets rid of anything. It literally gets rid of anything as long as you have Vista with it, and I think that's very strong. So that's probably going to be one of the cards I tech in and check in. Maybe just have like 3 jet pistols and then like 3 of the Zoros, maybe something like that. I don't know. I'm still kind of figuring it out, but I think that's a really good kind of combo for the deck, and you get a lot of advantage from it, and just like a lot of removal potential too, which is crazy. And again, 7 Dawn for this deck doesn't mean as much as 7 Dawn for Zoro, and I think that can be very strong there. So anyways, that's my deck. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you guys are still believing in Luffy in set 2, let me know with your own builds and your own successes and stuff, and let me know what other decks you want me to go back through for set 1 to go up to set 2. So that's going to be it. Thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I'll catch you all next time.